Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday to you all. For those who are new here, my name is Christine Araoka, and welcome. For our welcoming hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
Here in Fullerton, California, an inclusive community dedicating to building a better world. My name is Reverend Robert Blair. My pronouns are he, him, whoever you are, however you identify, whoever you love, whatever religion, no religion. We are glad that you are here and hope that you find this space welcoming and safe. UUCF acknowledges that this land is situated in the original ancestral homelands of the Hachiman, the Kizh, and the Tongva peoples. May we have the humility and courage to help restore what has been broken and the wisdom to live into a new solidarity with indigenous communities and the earth. We've got a lot going on. We've got concerts coming up. We've got shoes to give. And today is a very special anniversary. We'll get to that. Does anybody know what that anniversary is? No. Okay, we'll get to it in just a minute. Okay. Those Border Shop is having a concert here on July 24th to raise funds for Camino Immigration Services. We need your help. Volunteers for tickets, concessions, auction items, and more. If you would like to help, Debbie Reebok and Natalie Cruz, please see them for help. Is it Debbie Langenbacher? It says, see, it's Debbie Langenbacher. You were right in my eyesight, so yes, Debbie Langenbacher. You can say hi to Debbie Reebok as well.
I'll recruit her for some help.
Okay. Borrow a copy of Lois Nettleship's book, Interfaith Inclusion, to read on our July 26th book discussion. Copies are available in the library. First Christian Church of Fullerton Outreach is sponsoring Project School Shoes, which benefits local immigrant children and their families here from Ukraine. There are cards located in the narthex. Narthex is church speak for the lobby. What's a narthex? With more information on how you can help shop for new shoes to help support our local school children. And today is our anniversary. UUCF began on July 12, 1967, with 36 adults signing the membership book. The Unitarian Universalist Association on September 16th, 1967, voted to approve the application and to receive into membership in the association the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fullerton. Congregation of Fullerton. Yes. Let's see if there are any current members who signed the book that day. Anyone here? Well, happy anniversary. And we appreciate those original 36 for building a foundation upon which we continue to spread love in this area. Our caring listener this week is Christina Garner. There she is. You can speak with Christina. If you just want someone, a caring presence to be there for you, and just listen, we all need that in our lives. We'll be sharing our joys and concerns and sorrows a little bit later in the service. The slips are in the back. They are pink. Just fill those out. Get to those as quickly as possible so we can include you, light a candle for you. If you are on Facebook or on Zoom, get those joys, concerns, and sorrows in as soon as possible so that we can include you as well. Now take a few minutes to greet your neighbor, and then we will start with our new hymn of the month, and that's coming up in just a few.
Please be seated.
I do this the first Sunday of the month, but we had a rather busy service last week, so I'm doing it today. It is our custom now to each month we introduce a hymn, a new song or hymn, and it's for the congregation to learn. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about each piece so you'll appreciate it even more. This month's hymn is called Once When My Heart Was Passion Free. It's by John Bannister Tabb, 1845 to 1910, who was a Catholic priest, American poet, Confederate soldier, and prisoner of war. After the war, he became a priest and taught at St. Charles College in MD is Maryland. Had to think about that. His poem, Communion, which is where the words come from, describes a moment of spiritual communion with nature, of transcendence, when the speaker experiences oneness with the natural world. The poem shows how love connects the soul with the universe, with life's ever-widening circles, bridging the gap between the individual and the divine. The tune is called Primrose, and it was composed by Amzie Chapin in 1812, and is often praised for its bright, driving four-part harmony, typical of early American shape note singing. And it is a shape note hymn. It is found in the Sacred Harp hymnal, if you ever want to look it up. Thank you.
You may rise in my body or spirit and join us in singing. I'll be playing through this once, and then we'll all sing together.
Once when my heart was passion free to learn of things divine, the soul of nature suddenly outpoured itself in mine. I held the secrets of the deep and of the heavens above. I knew the harmonies of sleep, the mysteries of love, and for a moment's interval, the earth, the sky, the sea, my soul encompassed each and all as they encompass me.
You may be seated. I now invite Kybra to light the chalice. There is nothing you need to bring with you to be welcome here. No right beliefs or proof of citizenship. No eternal optimism or clarity of conviction. No boundless courage or endless expertise. You do not need to know what brought you here or how you will solve that problem you are turning over and over in your mind. Your bills don't need to be paid, and your checkbook, do you all know what that is? Your balance can be a mess. Your children may have been up half the night. Your hearing aids may not be working, and your knees may be creaking. You do not need to be already perfect or even halfway to belong in this circle where grace meets us where we are, but does not leave us as it found us. Where love resides in each of us, yet is somehow more than all, where life still pulses and rages and heals and transforms, creating us and this day anew once again. Come, let us worship together. Please join me in saying our unison affirmation. This flame affirms the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. Love is the doctrine that we share. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need, thus do we covenant with one another.
It is our custom to provide donations of non-perishable food and personal items through Pathways of Hope, a local food bank. Please check the dates on your items, as we are unable to donate any items with expired dates. As the children come forward, they are asked to collect the donations placed at the ends of the rows. And now, the children are invited to come forward for the time for all ages.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and rest we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I am Joy, and these guys are a teacher. So, today, we're going to be talking about a job that I don't know if it's too common to hear about. No clues, adults. So, I want to talk about, as I was doing research for this month's little talks, I found out that the second week of July is National Farriers Week, and I thought, that's interesting. What can I do with this? Do you guys know what a farrier is? Yeah, Josie? Close. She said someone who drives ferries. I love that guess. I think I'm going to give a clue, and our chemistry experts might benefit from that. So farrier comes from the Latin root, meaning, that shares the same root as this element that starts with Fe on the periodic table. Do you guys remember what Fe is? I know you guys love it, yes? Yeah, iron. And so a farrier works with iron in a very specific way. And I marked a picture of it in my book. You guys know what they're doing? They're making horseshoes, yeah. A farrier is someone who takes care of horses by making horseshoes and taking care of their hooves. Basically, like, they are professional pedicure providers for horses. And probably a lot of us like to get pedicures, maybe, but for horses, at least working horses, it's necessary. It's not just a luxury. And so I want to talk about 3 ways that we can kind of be like a farrier this week, maybe. So the first thing is that farriers take their job very seriously, and their job is taking care of other creatures. Do you know what our I stands for? Do you remember in our J Piglet? We're all tired today, it's okay. Close, integrity, but they do have that, yes? Interdependence, yeah, so it's like a relationship. We all rely on each other. The horses do work for us. Maybe not as much as when that hymn was written, but they do on farms and out in the world. And then the farriers work for the horses to make sure they're taken care of. The second thing is they protect. The horses, why do you think the horses need shoes? I mean, only spoiled dogs wear shoes and humans wear shoes, but I don't know about many other animals. Yes, Andrew?
Because they go in areas that might have snow or
yeah, they go in areas with sharp rocks, they go on areas that might be really hot, like difficult surfaces, they could be like dragging big loads, and there's like a lot of wear and tear on their feet. Or like if they're race horses, that's just like, it's the same reason why like we don't go to PE or like walk around the block barefoot. It's just not comfortable. We could get pricks and tears and cuts. So yeah, they protect. And so another thing is horses can't put on their own shoes. Like most of us can probably put on our own shoes, which, you know, we can be thankful for. And if not, we have to have someone to help us. And so we can think about, how can we help someone, how can we help protect someone who can't do it themselves? So that's something to take with us this week. And the third and last thing is our T and J Piglet. You guys remember the T? Transformation. Nice, right on it, Andrew. Farriers are all about transformation. Now look, I suggest later you watch some farrier videos on YouTube. It's fascinating, quite relaxing. They take some ugly horse hoof that's been through the muck and mire, and you're just like, you know, that's a dirty job, and I'm glad I can't smell it through my screen. And so they take these horses' hooves, which are, you know, not prize winning, and they scoop it all out, they cut, they trim, they're very careful, they're very gentle, and they make it custom for each horse, each hoof. And so they leave the horse looking and feeling better than when they met that horse. So we can think today and this week, how can we as people, young, medium, old, anyway, how can we make someone feel better than when we first met them? And that can be in small ways, and it perfectly aligns with our shoe drive, literal shoes for other kids, so that they can feel cared for, they can feel protected, and they can feel transformed for the better at school this upcoming year. So think about that this week, and we can all be farriers going forward, at least metaphorically. Have a great Sunday.
To create a brand new day, learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way. Go with wisdom, go with wonder, go to create a brand new day. Learn to see the light within you as we send you on your way.
It is now time for our joys, our sorrows, and our concerns. We begin by lighting a candle for all our concerns for the larger world. Our wish for peace and justice, our hopes for our children who will inherit this planet. May this first candle represent all those wishes and calls to action that are more than we can articulate in this space. We have a concern from Karen Anderson regarding West Nile virus. If you've seen the news reports, Fullerton is at the epicenter with the highest rate of West Nile virus. I think there's about 45 cases right now in Orange County. Most cities in North Orange County are at about 4 or 5 cases, but in Fullerton, the case rate is at 15. So please wear your DEET or whatever you use because the mosquito population is growing. And I don't know if you saw, but there were some raindrops on my windshield this morning. So we're getting into monsoon season. So just be careful out there and be aware. Joy from Natalie. She writes, Pride Month is every month, and July has a special focus on disability pride. To everyone with disabilities, seen and unseen, intersecting with your beautiful gender expression or sexual orientation, we see you and we love you. And by the way, coming up the last Sunday of the month, we will have a testimonial about disability pride as well. Thank you for that, Natalie. We now light one more candle for all of those joys, concerns, and sorrows that you may have, that we all have collectively right now, that remain unexpressed but are still held close to our hearts. And now please join me in saying the unison affirmation. We join you in celebrating your joys. May you feel our love and compassion for your sorrows and concerns, for all that is spoken and unspoken. May the caring of our beloved community sustain us all.
Here is where I found my voice and chose to be brave. Here's a place where I forgave someone against my better judgment and survived that. And unexpectedly, amazingly, I became wiser. Here's where I was once forgiven, once ready for once in my life to receive forgiveness and to be transformed. And I survived that also. I live to tell the tale. This is the place where I said no, more loudly than I thought I ever could. And everybody stared. But I said no loudly anyway, because I knew it must be said. And those staring settled down into harmless, ineffectual grumbling, and over me they had no power anymore. Here's a time, and here's another, when I laid down my fear and I walked right on into it, right up into my neck, into the rolling water. Here's where cruelty taught me something. And here's where I was first astonished by gratuitous compassion and knew for the miracle it was, the requirement it is. It was a trembling time. And here, much later, is where I returned the blessing, clumsily. It wasn't hard, but I was unaccustomed. It circled round, and as best as I could, I set it back out, passed the gift along, this circular motion around and around that has no apparent end. Here's a place, a murky puddle, where I have stumbled more than once and fallen. Oh yeah, I fell. And I don't know yet what to learn there. On this side, I was outraged, and the rage sustains me still. It clarifies my seeing. And here's where something caught me. A warm breeze in late winter, a bird song in late summer. Now here's where I was told there was something wrong with my eyes, that I see the world strangely, and here's where I said, yes, I know. I walk in beauty. Here is where I began to look with my own eyes and listen with my ears and sing my own song, shaky as it is. Here is where, if by surgeon's knife my heart was opened up, and here, and here and here and here and here. These are the landmarks of conversion.
For our next hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow me the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving light the shape of justice. Words Holy Ghost, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow me the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Words Holy Ghost, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
You may be seated. Let us move into the spirit of meditation, reflection, and prayer. As I've continued our sermon series on Valerie Kaur's book, See No Stranger, a memoir of manifesto and revolutionary love by Valerie Kaur. She is of the Sikh faith, and Katya has been so kind to share with us musically some Sikh prayers, and she is going to do that now as we join in a time of meditation.
True is the Master, true is his name, speak it with infinite love. People beg and pray, give to us, and the great giver gives his gifts. Sacha Sahib, Sachinai, Bhagya Bao Apar, Ake Mange Dede Dat Kare Datar. So what offering can we place before him by which we might see the darbar of his court? What words can we speak to evoke his love? Fer kya ge rakye chit disse darbar, mohe ke bole na boliye, In the Amrita Vela, the ambrosial hours before dawn, chant the true name and contemplate his glorious greatness. By the karma of past actions, the robe of this physical body is obtained. By his grace, the gate of liberation is found. Amrita Vela Sachinal Vadhyai Vicharam Karmiya Veya Kaparaha Nadri Mogatuaram. O Nanak, know this well, the true one himself is all. Nanak eve janiye sab ape sachyar. He cannot be established, he cannot be created. He himself is immaculate and pure. Tapya na jai, kita na hoye, apa apa niranjana soye. Those who serve him are honored. O Nanak, sing of the Lord, the treasure of excellent. Jinna sevya tinapaya man, Nanak gavye gunanidhan. Sing and listen, and let your mind be filled with love. Your pain shall be sent far away, and peace shall come to your home. Gavye sunye manarakye bao, dukkha parahara sukha garale jai. The Guru's word is the sound current of the Nod. The Guru's word is the wisdom of the Vedas. The Guru's word is all-pervading. The Guru is Shiva, the Guru is Vishnu and Brahma, the Guru is Parvati and Lakshmi. Gurmukha Nadam, Gurmukha Vedam, Gurmukha Rahya Samai, Gur Isar, Gur Gorak, Parma Gur Parvati Mai. Even knowing God, I cannot describe him. He cannot be described in words. The Guru has given me this one understanding. There is only the one, the giver of all souls. May I never forget him. Jai hao janana aka nahi, kahana katana na jai, gura ikadai bujai, sabna jiya ka ikdata, so me visrana jai.
So, what does it mean to be a warrior sage for a new time? Who will you fight for? What will you risk? It begins with honoring the fight impulse in you. Think about what breaks your heart. Notice what it feels like to have your fists clench, your jaw close, your pulse quicken. Notice what it feels like to want to fight back, and honor that in yourself. You are alive and have something worth fighting for. Now comes the second moment. How will you channel that into something that delivers life instead of death? Breathe. Think. Then choose your sword and shield. You don't have to know the answers. You just have to be ready for the moment when the world says, now. I believe that we can all be warrior sages. I choose to interpret the Sikh warrior tradition in the most expansive, compassionate, non-violent, and life-enhancing way that I can. Not everyone interprets the tradition this way. Every great wisdom tradition in the world, be it Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and Buddhism, has been used to justify cruelty and violence, or to inspire revolutionary kind of love. I choose love. I know that military metaphors don't work for some people. Too much bloodshed. For those who are drawn to it, I think the warrior sage concept can be useful as a means of tapping into our bravery. Nonviolence is often seen as passive or soft. But warrior metaphors show nonviolent action for what it is. It is fierce, strategic, demanding, and disciplined. Nonviolent movements around the world have ushered in more durable democracies that are less likely to regress into civil war. There are some situations where force is necessary to defend oneself and to resist state violence. But force should always be our last resort.
Again, we continue our sermon series today on See No Stranger, a memoir and manifesto of revolutionary love. And today is The Courage to Fight and Rage. Again, you can disagree with what the reading says. This is a place of free thought, but it does get us thinking about how to live our lives and apply or not apply what Valerie Kaur is saying through her tradition. So last year, our friends at First Christian Church Fullerton hosted what may have been one of the most spiritually satisfying community events or appropriate ever devised. It was a dish-breaking event. Y'all remember that? Yeah, Shelby, you were throwing some. You know how to throw down. And they invited us at UUCF to join them. They set up a 3-sided tent right in the back over there, supplied safety glasses, gathered stacks of dishes and invited people to write on a plate whatever was making them angry. You could write down a situation you were carrying, an injustice, a fear, the name of someone who had hurt you, or perhaps the name of a politician whose names, for reasons nobody could quite explain, was frequently written in orange. Then you put on your safety glasses, stepped up to the tent, and threw the plate against that brick wall. And those plates shattered. And there was something really satisfying about the sound of a plate hitting a wall when you're angry. Because, let's face it, most of us spend an extraordinary amount of energy trying to appear cool, calm, and collected. We smile, we nod, we take deep breaths, say I feel when you, because. When somewhere deep inside us there's considerably less holy responses trying to escape. But inside that tent, for just a few glorious seconds, we did not have to pretend. You could just pick up a plate, write down what was breaking your heart, what was frightening you, and send it flying. After a while, there was something almost liturgical about it, a strange kind of communion of shattered ceramics. People standing together in safety glasses, surrounded by broken pieces, saying with their bodies what they had been carrying silently with them. I remember thinking that perhaps every place of gathering, whether it's work or school or here, should have one of those tents for everyday use. We could just make it a thing that we do every Sunday. Have the tent back there, coffee hour on one side, rage tent on the other. You get your name tag, grab a cup of coffee, get caffeinated, sign in for a community and committee, and then throw a plate against the wall. Membership would skyrocket. And yet beneath the humor of that afternoon was something deeply human and spiritual, because every plate that shattered carried a sacred story. The sound of those dishes shattering reminded me that anger rarely arrives alone. Anger carries grief, fear, and love. Anger often appears because somewhere inside us there's something precious that we believe deserves protection. And perhaps this is why so many religious traditions have struggled with anger. We've been taught to distrust it, suppress it, meditate it away, pray it away, to become so spiritually evolved that nothing disturbs our inner peace. And some of us have become very good at appearing peaceful while quietly falling apart, swallowing our anger, intellectualizing it, turning it inward, which is not good for our bodies, our blood pressure, our sanity. Maybe we tell ourselves that good people should be calm, that spiritual people should be gentle and should forgive quickly and move on. Meanwhile, the world keeps handing us plates. Another attack on immigrants, another trans child being used as a political weapon, another black family grieving someone they love who didn't return from a vacation. Another war More bombings, more shootings, another billionaire or trillionaire buying influence while families stand in grocery store aisles calculating which food they can afford and what they have to put back. And eventually the question becomes unavoidable. What are we supposed to do with all this anger? Because we can't spend our entire lives throwing plates against walls. We would eventually run out of dishes. We'd have to have a line item in the budget just for dishes. So what do we do with all this anger and rage? What happens when the suffering of the world enters our body and refuses to leave? This is where Valerie Kaur invites us to go deeper. Throughout this sermon series, we've been walking with her through spiritual disciplines that she describes in the book. We began with the courage to wonder, the practice of looking at another human being and saying, "You are a part of me I do not yet know." At least some people saying it with me. Then we entered the courage to grieve last week on July 5th, allowing ourselves to feel the wounds of our own lives, our communities, and our nation. Because grief is the price we pay for loving in a world that can still break our hearts. And now, Kaur brings us to a more dangerous and uncomfortable place. I love diving into uncomfortable places and messy places. The courage to fight. She's using metaphors for this. The courage to rage. Because eventually, wonder, the first chapter, opens our eyes. Grief, the second chapter, opens our hearts. And then something inside us begins to rise. It bubbles up. Kaur writes about learning to listen to her rage as a source of data. Okay, she puts a boundary between it. It's information for her. And her rage told her every time she had this feeling that a boundary had been crossed. Her anger told her that something sacred was being violated. Her anger told her that people she loved were in danger. Her anger told her that the time had come to rise up. But you're going to hear that song in a few minutes from Audrey Day. There is wisdom in rage. Rage can reveal where we've been wounded. It can reveal what we love. It can reveal the deepest places where our values collide with the world as it is. And the spiritual challenge is learning how to carry that fire without allowing that fire to consume us. Because Kaur understands something that every movement for justice eventually discovers. We can't build a more loving world if we destroy ourselves in the process. We need our anger. We need its energy. We need its clarity and its focus. We need the part of us that stands up and says, enough. We also need the spiritual discipline to decide where that energy goes. Where do we put this? A plate can shatter a wall. A movement can shatter a system. A voice can shatter a silence that has lasted for generations. A community can shatter the illusion that those who suffer are alone. Perhaps courage begins when we stand among the broken pieces and realize that our rage has been trying to tell us something. And we must decide, what are we willing to do about it? Because there comes a moment when wonder asks us to see and grief asks us to feel, and love, when it has finally had enough, asks us to fight. And for us as Unitarian Universalists, this matters deeply. We talk about the inherent worth and dignity of every person, including senators. A senator who died last night. That's a challenge, isn't it? If we say we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and love is at the center of what we do we put on Facebook celebrating someone's death? Is that part of our value system? I'm preaching to myself right now. That's a hard one. There are moments when dignity requires nonviolent confrontation. There are moments when love requires resistance. But it needs to all be based on love. Dr. King named racism, poverty, militarism as intertwined evils. Kaur points out that sexism belongs on that list too. And honestly, the list keeps widening because systems of oppression feed one another. White supremacy feeds economic exploitation. Patriarchy feeds homophobia and transphobia. Fear becomes profitable. Division becomes political currency. So if we're going to fight for one another, we cannot do it halfway. Or says we need more than allies. We need, I like what she says here, accomplices. People willing to risk comfort. People willing to break rules in order to break chains. Because democracy itself depends on ordinary people deciding that someone else's freedom matters enough to protect. And maybe that begins by listening to what our rage is trying to tell us. Let's be clear, not every angry impulse is wisdom. Rage can be destructive. We know that. Anger can take us off course and off focus, which was what I was talking about with the senator. We are living in a country overflowing with weaponized grievance and cruelty disguised as strength. But there's another kind of rage, a grief-filled rage rooted in love. Notice our mama bears and papa bears when our kids get hurt. That is rage rooted in love. Because that rage says that our kids matter. That rage says bodily autonomy matters. That black lives matter. That trans lives matter. That rage says democracy matters. So the rage is not the enemy of a spiritual life. It may actually be evidence that our hearts are still awake, that we are paying attention, that we are not apathetic and numb to what is happening. And maybe that's the invitation this morning. It's a delicate balance, not to be consumed by anger, but also not to pretend we don't feel it. But to let it clarify what we love enough to protect, to let it move us toward courage instead of despair, to become, in Kaur's language, warrior sages for this moment in history. Again, if you don't like that metaphor, believe me, when I was at a Christian church and we sang for one time, because I didn't choose the song, "Onward Christian Soldiers," oh, we didn't sing that again. But this is Kaur's way of addressing it. To become people, I love this word, fierce enough to resist oppression and tender enough to remember humanity on the side of the struggle. People who know that love without courage becomes a Hallmark movie, which, by the way, I love during Christmas. But courage without love becomes actual brutality. So where is your rage this morning? How can you let it feed you to making changes? And when you do tap into that rage, know that it comes in a place where love resides, and that is in your heart. And sometimes it takes our hearts to be broken to release the love and rage and fight that we need to make the world a better place. Amen.
At UUCF, we embrace the possibility of a world filled with peace, acceptance, justice, love, and joy. By our financial commitment, we help this congregation make those possibilities real in a challenging world. A basket is being brought around the sanctuary, and there are payment options on the screen. Whatever you are able to give is received with gratitude. We thank you for your commitment and your generosity.
I was thinking back to COVID, and Brene Brown always talks about making music playlists that match your emotion that you're going through. So this week I invite you, if you, Spotify or iTunes or whatever you have, what songs on that list would you put in for rage and fight? I remember rolling down my windows and screaming lyrics from Eminem and Rage Against the Machine and Nirvana and Alice in Chains and Depeche Mode during COVID, just trying to get it out. Maybe that's a way of musical therapy. So the invitation today is to step into a world that needs your courage. Listen to what breaks your heart. Protect what you love. And when the forces of cruelty and oppression tell you to sit down and stay quiet or give up, remember what Valerie Kaur taught us. If you've read the book, she says there is a tiger inside of you, fierce, watchful, and unafraid. So go forth with love in your heart, justice in your bones, and every once in a while, when the moment demands it, let that tiger growl. Show your teeth, and don't just meow. I was a poet. Go in peace, go in power, and go give the world a little roar. We now extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts wherever we may go. And so when we put up the slide, we're going to add a Sikh blessing to this as well, as Katya has taught us, Waheguru. Correct? So, Waheguru.
Waheguru.
Amen. Shalom, salam, namaste, and blessed be.
For our closing hymn, we'll be singing hymn number 1028, The Fire of Commitment. You may rise in mind, body, or spirit and join us in singing.
Where
our food and fellowship. Thank you all.